They said the universe was not born from chaos, but from harmony. And harmony, they claimed, was born from number. In the hidden temples of Greece, before Plato ever wrote, before Pythagoras swore his disciples to silence, there was a secret oath, a single symbol that contained the structure of all creation. They called it the Tetractys, 10 points arranged in 4 sacred rows, a triangle of light whispering the divine pattern. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. This was not a simple equation. It was the skeleton of the cosmos. The first line, the 1, represented unity, the source, the breath before existence. The second, 2, was duality, the tension between opposites. The third, 3, harmony, the balance of heaven and earth. And the fourth, 4, matter itself, the solid manifestation of the divine. When these numbers joined, they produced 10, the perfect number, the seal of completion. To the initiates, this wasn't arithmetic, it was theology. The Tetractys was the oath of Pythagoras, the silent vow whispered by his followers before every teaching. By the Tetractys, which contains the root of eternal nature. Theon of Smyrna, one of the last to inherit this ancient science, wrote that this harmony was not human, but cosmic, the very order that binds the musical, geometric, and elemental worlds together. He revealed that the universe itself unfolds in layers, each one a reflection of these 4 sacred proportions. From unity emerges the dual principle of spirit and matter. From duality arises the triad, the divine mediator. And from the triad comes the tetrad, the world of form, fire, air, water, and earth. Every realm, every body, every soul is built upon this law. The Pythagoreans believed that the gods themselves shaped the cosmos according to this number, that even Zeus, the ruling mind, swore his own oath by the holy Tetractys. It was not merely a symbol, it was the very architecture of existence. And so, from the harmony of 1, 2, 3, and 4, the world was born. The fiery pyramid, the airy octahedron, the watery icosahedron, and the solid cube, the 4 forms of sacred matter, rose from number into geometry, from geometry into body, from body into soul. Theon wrote that the 4 elements correspond to the 4 levels of being: fire to the divine and luminous, air to the rational and mobile, water to the emotional and connective, earth to the physical and dense. And from these, everything visible and invisible took form. The ancients taught that each element was not simply matter, but power, a vibration of divine order, echoing through all things. Fire was the cause, air the motion, water the union, earth the manifestation. Each bore the others within it. Nothing existed alone. Thus the 4-fold harmony became the living bridge between gods and mortals, the very pattern through which life itself entered the world. When the gods forged the world, they did not stop at matter. They forged man in the same image, a living Tetractys in human form. Just as the universe is woven from the 4 elements, man too was built upon 4 foundations, each reflecting the divine order of fire, air, water, and earth. But within him, these were not only physical, they became psychic, living forces shaping thought, emotion, desire, and flesh. Theon of Smyrna called this mystery the 9th Tetractys, the pattern through which the cosmic harmony descends into the mortal. To understand it, one must first see the hidden chain of creation. From the divine unity came the 4 elements. From the 4 elements, the soul took its triple nature. From the soul's 3 powers, the body emerged as its 4th, the visible throne of the invisible harmony. The ancients saw the human being as a complete reflection of the cosmos, not a metaphor, but a mathematical truth. The 4th Tetractys belongs to the elements: fire, air, water, earth. The 9th Tetractys belongs to the carriers of those elements within man: the rational, the spirited, the appetitive, and the corporeal. The rational part corresponds to fire, clear, luminous, commanding. The spirited part to air, expansive, passionate, mobile. The appetitive part to water, flowing, desiring, unsteady. And the bodily part to earth, dense, limited, and bound to gravity. Together they form the fourfold man, the living geometry of the soul. The Pythagoreans taught that when these four harmonize, the human becomes divine. But when one dominates, the being collapses into imbalance, just as the cosmos would if one element devoured the rest. They even spoke of the three invisible vehicles of the soul, which accompany the mortal frame. The rational body, subtle and luminous. The spirited body, fiery and dynamic. The appetitive body, fluid and receptive. Around them, the visible flesh, the fourth and heaviest vehicle, forms the prison that binds the immortal to the mortal. The soul is not contained in the body, they said. It surrounds the body, shaping and guiding it, just as the celestial spheres enclose the earth. Imagine four concentric circles. Fire at the center, then air, then water, then earth. The outermost is the visible body. The inner circles are the unseen forms of the psyche, the secret architecture of human existence. Thus man stands between two worlds, the divine order above, from which his soul descends, and the material order below, which he must command. To master oneself is to realign these circles, to bring the elemental chaos back into harmony with its divine proportion. That is the meaning of initiation. Not to worship the gods, but to become as they are, perfectly balanced within the geometry of being. The Tetractys of mortals teaches that man's soul, like the universe, is divided into three powers. The rational, logikon, linked with fire and with the heavens. The spirited, thymides, bound to air, motion, and courage. The appetitive, epithymedikon, tied to water, pleasure, and the senses. And beneath these rests the body, born of earth, the visible fourth that holds them all. The ancient philosophers saw this not as symbolism, but physics, a science of the soul. They taught that fire governs intellect, air governs movement, water governs emotion, and earth governs stability. Each human being is a unique proportion of these four powers. When fire dominates, the person becomes intellectual, visionary, or austere. When air leads, they become bold, proud, quick to act. When water prevails, they live by passion, beauty, and desire. When earth rules, they become slow, constant, or stubborn, tied to form, resistant to change. To achieve the divine life, one must raise the lower toward the higher. Lift water into air into fire, and earth into light. This is the ascent of the soul, the return of matter to number, of number to harmony, and of harmony to the divine. That ascent was the secret of the ninth Tetractys. It was said that those who knew its pattern could master the inner architecture of their being, heal the imbalance of the elements within, and reign over themselves as the gods reign over the world. The ancients said that to know the gods, one must first know the body. For the body itself is a temple built according to the same mathematics as the universe. Every sense, every organ, every impulse is a gate in that temple, each aligned with the four cosmic fires that descend from the Tetractys. They called this the Tetractys of the mortal. At its summit burns fire, the element of intellect. Below it moves air, the element of will. Then water, the element of desire. And at the base lies earth, the element of form. From these, the soul receives its five channels of perception. Sight belongs to fire, because light reveals form. Hearing belongs to air, because sound rides upon breath. Smell belongs to water, because moisture carries fragrance. Taste belongs to earth and water together, because they meet in the tongue. Touch belongs to earth, because matter knows matter only by contact. Thus, even the senses are numbers, their harmony echoing the order of the Tetractys: 1, 2, 3, 4. Vision, sound, scent, flavor, and solidity. Theon of Smyrna wrote that these senses are not random gifts of nature, but proportional mirrors of the cosmos itself. They are the bridges by which the divine perceives the material through us. For behind the eyes burns fire. Within the chest circulates air. In the blood flows water, and in the bones rests earth. The ancients drew these correspondences as concentric circles, each ring a world, each world a level of being. At the center blazes the rational fire, around it the spirited air, around that the appetitive waters, and finally the earthly shell that imprisons them all. This was the anatomy of the soul. They said that every human bears three invisible bodies, luminous, fiery, and fluid, wrapped in one visible garment of flesh. These unseen bodies move with us through life, vibrating at different densities, binding heaven to matter within the same living geometry. To the philosophers, this was not superstition, it was divine physics. Each layer of being grows denser as it descends. Fire is the most subtle, thought itself. Air thickens it into motion. Water gives it weight and emotion. Earth seals it into form. The progression from spirit to body was the fall of the soul. The ascent from body to spirit was its redemption. They taught that the wise must reverse the descent, must turn the senses back toward their source. Sight must no longer serve desire, but contemplation. Hearing must no longer follow noise, but harmony. Taste must no longer enslave, but discern. Touch must no longer cling, but feel truth through form. When all five obey the law of the Tetractys, the human stands balanced between worlds dash dash. A microcosm reflecting the macrocosm. Even the philosophers of later ages kept this secret diagram. Fire for the logikon, the reasoning part. Air for the thymeids, the spirited and courageous part. Water for the epithemedikon, the desiring part. And earth for the soma, the mortal vessel. They saw that each person lives according to which element governs their inner world. Some burn with fire and rule with thought. Some move like air and rule with will. Some flow like water and rule with emotion. Some endure like earth and rule with steadiness. But the complete human, the one the gods recognize as their equal, is the one who unites all four in harmony, forming within himself the living triangle of 10, the secret pattern of the universe. In the final teaching of the mystics of Croton, it was said that when a man dies, the dense layer of earth dissolves, the waters of desire evaporate, the airy passions rise and fade, and only the fire of reason remains, ascending back to its origin among the divine stars. That is why they swore by the Tetractys, because it was not a number, it was a promise, that whatever descends from unity will one day return to it.